What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris, and I'm going to be casting the next set from the Premier League Season 4. This time it's going to be between Team Liquid on the Radiant and the 3D Clan on the Dire. Now, this game, well, currently Liquid stands in the Premier League Season 4 at a 2-0 score, and 3D Clan is at 1-1. So, the tournament's still young, but Liquid is doing pretty well so far. Liquid doing so well, in fact. I'm sure you guys might have seen it, that thread on Reddit that said Liquid has, since their formation or pickup by Team Liquid in December, they have yet to be eliminated from any tournament. So far, every tournament that they've been in, they're either still in or they've won, which is pretty friggin' crazy. Now, and they're 2-0 right now, so they should be at least near the top of this tournament. So, I wish the best of luck to 3D Clan because Team Liquid are looking terrifying, which is great for me because I'm a huge Team Liquid fan. But anyway, we're going to be seeing something kind of odd from 3D Clan. They're going to go for Magnus first, as well as an Anti-Mage as Bane in their first 3 picks. Now, Anti-Mage definitely is not the most popular carry hero at this stage of Dota. Gyrocopter, Lifestealer, those are the heroes that teams typically pick up because they don't need as much. Gyrocopter does have that rocket barrage, so he can be very active in the early stages of the game, whereas Anti-Mage, not so much. He could escape, yes, but in this current age of Dota, where aggressive tri-lanes are just so popular, you don't really have the time for Anti-Mage to get his Battle Fury up. And even if he is against an aggressive tri-lane, he's not going to add anything. If Gyro is in an aggressive tri-lane, yes, he'll do fine. He could do a lot of damage with that barrage, or if Naix is in a tri-lane, he has that slow, he has that rage to kind of protect himself. But Anti-Mage is very, very fragile in that sense, and he doesn't actually contribute much to that tri-lane. So if they get a defensive tri-lane, Anti-Mage can get all the farm in the world, but I don't know if they want, if Liquid want to have that against them. They're going to open up with the Shadow Demon, so already Liquid picking up some good counter to that Anti-Mage. Disruption will allow for pretty much one hit each of those illusions to get that mana break onto the Anti-Mage, and that difference in mana probably isn't going to mean that much, but later on, if you keep those illusions alive, then hey, it's like Manta style on your team of the enemy Anti-Mage, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, Liquid is going to pick up the Gyrocopter, Clockwork, as well as the Shadow Demon, so prioritizing the Clockwork pretty early. It's a hero that's been seeing a lot more play as of late, even picking him up over the Darkseer. And typically both of those heroes do go to the hard lane, so I guess Liquid gonna try something a little bit new. They could have easily picked up the Darkseer, got through the first round, but with the Clockwork pick, they're gonna get a lot of long-range initiation, which is also another fairly large theme of the current meta. It's all about initiating from a range and being pretty safe or surprising in your initiation. Or both, and Clockwork is one of the best at that. You get a little bit of global support with that Rocket Flare, make sure the waves don't push in too much, but also that hook shot, great, pretty reliable stun, unless Bulba decides to miss all of the stuns again. Because right now we see a couple more of those hard lane heroes being banned out, Bounty Hunter as well as the Darkseer. But Liquid, they'll have some pretty good setup. Shadow Demon setup for the Gyrocopter. We'll let him get in close for that Rocket Barrage, and we'll see if they want to go for another hero and try to go aggressive on that Anti-Mage, because they definitely can do so. Put the Clockwork into a safe situation, and then they'll be pretty fine. Still need to pick up a mid hero, and everything will be just dandy for Team Liquid. 3D Clan, on the other hand, they already gone with the Magnus, Bane, as well as the Anti-Mage, of course. They probably want the Anti-Mage to be as safe as possible, and that means they want to avoid the try vs try situation, whereas Liquid, they want the try vs try situation because they will have the setup, they'll have the damage, and 3D Clan, though they have the Bane Elemental, and even if they pick up someone like a Visage or a Undying, the Anti-Mage just has so little to contribute that they really would not want to go up against Liquid in that situation. The Magnus is going to offer them some strong team fighting abilities, as well as the Bane Elemental pickup, possibly against a Lifestealer pickup from Liquid. I don't know. They might still run that, run the Gyrocopter solo mid, and then have a Lifestealer be the farmer. In which case, the Bane Elemental as well as the Magnus can offer some pretty good counter there. But so far, the teams are pretty similar in what they've picked up so far, which is why we see very similar bans coming out for both teams. It's going to be Nature's Prophet, Lone Druid, Clanks, all of these heroes that are capable of soloing the lane and mostly just allowing their team to have a little bit more space. The Bounty Hunter as well as the Darkseer kind of similar in the way that they behave. They just absorb the levels from the lane, try to get a little bit of gold, and then the bounty hunter leaves the lane, as does the nature's prophet. But it's just getting rid of these farming heroes that could hold down lanes by themselves. The last ban out is actually going to be the Rubik, so Team Liquid are going to make sure that they keep hold of all of their spells and eliminate a really powerful tri-lane hero from 3D, defensive tri-lane from 3D. And now we're going to see what 3D want to do. They do need someone on that hard lane. It could be the Magnus. Once again, I'm assuming they don't want the Anti-Mage in that lane just because of how little he offers. But a mid lane hero is going to be kind of desirable for both 3D as well as Team Liquid.
10 seconds
Although with the
remaining.
Gyrocopter as well as the Magnus, they do get a little bit of flexibility in how they want to lane it.
5
Gyrocopter
seconds
especially,
remaining.
you see him a lot more these days mid, as opposed to before when you never really saw him mid. It was always safe. But Gyrocopter mid usually get a lot more points in that rocket barrage, and then you could be very, very damaging in the early game. Play him as a nuker, and then if you get a lot of farm, then eventually you could transition into something that does damage and then destroy people with the flat cannon. And the Magnus kind of offers the same thing. He sometimes goes on the hard lane solo. Not really the best way to lane Magnus, unless he's up against a Clockwork, in which case he should be okay. But mid solo is also a very good way to lane that Magnus, in which case 3D you're going to need to pick up some other lanes. We're going to see what they want to do. They're going to go with the Lina. So they're just going to get their support lineup all set up. Ban Elemental as well as Lina. Pretty solid setup into stun combo. It's a lot easier to hit than Lina Shadow Demon, which still isn't that hard to hit. But it's looking like 3D are going to lane Lina Bane as well as the Anti-Mage. It's a lot of protection for them. They do have a lot of early game in that sense with the just the nuking power that comes out from all the heroes but the Anti-Mage.
10 seconds remaining.
So Team Liquid,
5 seconds
the
remaining.
fourth pickup, probably still going to be a mid hero, I would say.
Reserve
like-
time.
Well, pretty much all the mid heroes are still in the game. Something like a Queen of Pain, perhaps. Get a lot of bursts, a lot of mobility around there, or a puck.
10
Team Liquid
seconds
has been
remaining.
known to run that puck. That'll give them a fair amount of team fight as well.
5 seconds.
Although oh, hello, puck. So there you go, a fair amount of team fight. Get that Dream Coil going. Play a very mobile game, and puck is pretty good against the heroes of 3D Clan. That silence is going to be very annoying for both Bane and Lina, and Anti-Mage especially. Well, actually all of 3D Clan pretty reliant on their spells, and more importantly reliant on getting their spells off at the correct timing. And, well, Puck's silence, once he gets a Blink Dagger, or even before he gets a Blink Dagger, if he gets a good Illusory Orb,
10 seconds
it's going to
remaining.
wreck 3D Clan. That silence is going to be very, very damaging to them. Team
5
Liquid's still a
seconds
little bit light on
remaining.
stuns. They only have the Clockwork to really offer any sort of solid stun, so that silence is also very needed for the killing off of the Anti-Mage. You still have the Homing Missile as well as the Dream Coil. I guess they could disrupt its teleportations, but if you want to lock down Anti-Mage, you need something a little bit more concrete, and well, that's something that the puck is going to offer you that a hero such as Queen of Pain just cannot bring to the table, because she cannot really lock down an Anti-Mage. She could chase with him, but then it gets a little bit more dangerous because you're going to be chasing into tier 1 towers, and then you have to worry about teleportation support, all of that unpleasantness. So 3D, they need someone to match up against Puck in the mid lane. It still could be the Magnus. His base damage is fairly high. It looks like it is going to be the Magnus.
Radiant team
So his base damage is pretty high. The Shockwave harass is so very easy to dodge as Puck, though, because the animation for Shockwave is very apparent. He lifts his stick all the way up into the air, brings it back down. Takes a good bit of time, and I assume it's going to be Korok playing that Puck. He'll have all the time in the world to completely dodge those spells. But yeah, the base damage from Magnus should allow him some
10
degree of
seconds remaining.
control over that lane. He'll just be able to last hit. He will get harassed, but his
5
bottle should
seconds
come fast enough,
remaining.
and with Skewer he should have some control of the runes.
Enchantress.
Looks like Liquid going to pick up their Enchantress as their last pick, so going to solidify that last lane for Liquid. And if they choose to, they could do some pretty aggressive pushing. Enchantress isn't seen all that much these days as compared to 0.75 days. Because the aggression you need a hero to constantly be in the lane if you're in a tri-lane situation, and pushing also isn't that important as compared to before. But Enchantress still is a huge early game powerhouse, and Although 3D Clan do have a decent amount of AoE through the Power Shot, Slave, as well as the Shockwave to clear off those creep waves, Enchantress is still going to bring a lot of pushing to the table early game, so probably going to try to get as much space for the Gyrocopter before the Anti-Mage could really get any of his items up. Gyrocopter will hopefully have, for Liquid's sake, a lot more than the 3D Clan. Both teams have their hard carry, and well, both teams have some decent team fight as well. So we're going to see how this game turns out as we now drop ourselves into who is playing what. It is going to be Solo on that Lina, Nexus hard carrying that Anti-Mage, Dread on that Bane Elemental, Servo, I think I called him Servo last time, Magnus, and Sharfik is going to be playing that Windrunner. It's going to be a solo mid Windrunner? Yeah, it is. I think it is. On the Liquid side, we have Bulba already heading up towards that top lane. Picked up Cogs level 1 to keep himself a little bit safe. IX Mike is going to be playing that support Shadow Demon. Fluff is going to be on the Enchantress. Mid lane is going to be Korok on the Puck, and TC going to be hard carrying up that Gyrocopter. Already got a little bit of consumable from Fluff. But yeah, solo lane on that Windrunner. She'll have a pretty easy time against the Puck as well. The base damage is going to be fairly even. Puck does have a little bit more, but the animation from the Windrunner is a little bit better. Shackles, power shots, probably not going to latch on Korok unless Korok's reflexes just aren't up to snuff today. That will force the Magnetar to the bottom lane unless he's going to do something weird, and he doesn't really look like it. Picking up that Stout Shield at level 1. He might try to do a little bit of jungle. He's not actually moving around, but even if he does do that, it's not going to be all that effective. You got to get that Bastion announcer over here. So we're going to see how 3D want to use this Magnus, because it might just be a little bit of easy lane clearing, because he's not actually heading down towards that bot lane. This isn't really going to matter all that much to Liquid. They expected to shut down this Magnus even if he did go down there. So either way, TC is going to be getting free farm. They are going to have to worry about Magnus getting experience, because they were planning on forcing Magnus to be right here, which I still cannot draw on the map, unfortunately. But he's going to be somewhere else, probably looking towards a gank. What is he actually doing? He's going to stack some creeps to the high ground. Very curious as to what this guy is doing. Looks like nothing quite yet. The Bulba on this top lane is going to be using those cogs to delay the creep wave. This one poor melee creep going to charge into battle all alone. What are you doing? Oh, he's just going to skewer and pull it? What are you doing? He's just going to stack it. Okay. Picked up skewer level 1 though. I don't exactly know what the point of that was. I mean, if you're going to clear it off, you want to get in power for the cleave. Or, I guess, Shockwave is also a viable option. But yeah, I don't really know what this Magnus is doing. Gotta be honest. But in the meantime, Nexus is getting free farm on this top lane. Bulba with the power cogs actually got himself 2 creep kills, so not bad there. The reason you get power cogs on Clockwork is because it's a lot more defensive than the Rocket Flare. If you get Rocket Flare first, yes, you get to level 2 a little bit safer and you get a little more creep kills, but it's kind of like picking up the power shot at level 1. It makes you a lot more vulnerable, which sometimes you could be okay with, but other times it's better to be safe than sorry and pick up that wind run as the level 1 skill. Mid lane is going to be Sharfik versus Korok so far, both of them keeping relatively even, and look at that, phase shifting that damage, but Korok still taking quite a few arrows from Sharfik. The bottle looks like it is going to come in for the Windrunner, not yet for Korok. It's a lot more of his gold. So he's going to be falling behind a little bit as Sharfik does get that additional regeneration, although the bottle from Puck should come out relatively soon. Bot lane, of course, TC is getting all the farm in the world. Let's see what build he's going. He's getting a couple points more in Rocket Barrage. I do like it when people do that. You want to get a little more damage on this Gyrocopter, I feel, and his stats are nice and everything. Flat Cannon, you don't really need it until later on because you don't really do that much damage. It just does a lot more damage per level, in my opinion. I think the math probably depends on how many heroes there are near you. And if there are a lot, then it's definitely Flat Cannon. If there's only one, then it's definitely Rocket Barrage. In such a situation, you don't really expect many heroes to be coming in from the enemy team. Like at most, it's going to be 3. So the Rocket Barrage on a 1v1 basis is probably a little bit more useful. He's going to be sticking to this bottom lane, and we're going to see when Fluff actually wants to come and help him push that out, if he wants to at all. I think it was Fluff that was playing the Enchantress and just farmed all day. Does have 2 points in the enchant, no points in heal, 1 for 1 that first or second level of stats. So that does signify Enchantress is going to go a little more aggressive. Now does pick up some heal. I don't know why he got another point of enchant, and then cooldown goes down a little bit, which I guess 30 seconds to 25 is pretty good if you want to clear the camps a little bit faster. I don't know. But anyway, all the while, IX Mike with 2 points in Shadow Poison has been pulling the mid lane, and he is now level 3. He's going to be stacking all these up as well as nuking him down with that poison. So he's not exactly supporting the lane directly, the bot lane, the safe farmer, but at the same time he's getting a lot more than this Magnus, who has gotten some creep kills, clear out these easy camps I believe, and he's just stacking this up as much as he can. I'm going to look forward to see how much experience this Magnus actually gets. I can't imagine it's going to be that much, although there are a lot of satyrs here. So with the help of Solo nuking this down, it could be pretty good. Skewer, oh, you don't want to be there. Oh god. Fight your way out. Oh, that's embarrassing. Spend your money, dude. He's dead. He is so dead. Well, it's a good thing I was keeping my eyes up there, because that was definitely not what he planned. I don't even know why he skewered there in the first place. It's kind of weird play already coming out from 3D. Solo, as well as Dread, they've been, stacking, pulling, 3 denies in the Lina. So they've been getting a little bit of experience, but really pales in comparison to what IX Mike is getting. He's been stacking this hard camp the entire time, pulling for Korok, and with 2 points in Shadow Poison, if he spends a little bit of time here, he can nuke this entire creep wave down with a little bit more mana. No, he didn't even wait for the next stack. It's a lot of damage he wasted. But yeah, very, very questionable play from 3D. They picked up the Magnus in the first pick, yet if they had picked up the Darkseer, he would have been level 3, level 4 already, and he could actually go down to the bot lane. Okay, he's going to go back there. Could he actually hit them from up here? No, he's just taking more free damage from all these range satyrs that spawned, and... What are you doing, bro? You can't... Oh, you could get hit from there. Could you hit them back? I'm so curious. I don't even care that the Lina is, like, dying to creeps, and IX Mike also dying to creeps. I really want to see what this guy is doing. Because he's not really doing anything. He's like... What is happening right now? He's literally doing nothing. He's sitting there taking damage. He's not taking that much damage because he has a stout shield, but still, he's... Hit them? Oh, there you go. You can hit them from the high ground. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work too well. I don't know if this is the best way to jungle as a Magnus. Why pick this hero up if you're going to try to do something so ineffective as this when you could just pick up the Darkseer and already be in the lane, already be pushing TC back? And TC going to go for a fast Shadow Blade. In the meantime, Korok might be in a little bit of trouble. Shackle Shot, there's no angle for it, but the Power Shot will fly through. Korok going to send his Illusory Orb through, and he will go to safety. IX Mike going to get a disruption onto the Bane Elemental, and Curse as well. 2 stacks of Shadow Poison do some decent damage, but he should be fine. And Korok will get out of there with his life. In the meantime, Magnus picked up 2 creep kills. High roller. He's definitely confusing the crap out of the creeps, but to be fair, he's confusing the crap out of me as well. Puck gonna go onto Sharphick early, burning that Dream Coil, and he's gonna dodge the Power Shot. Here comes IX Mike to support. Not much mana, however. The first stack of Shadow Poison missed. Shackle onto IX Mike. Korok with the right click damage. Will it be enough? Needs one more. Shadow Poison will kill the Windrunner. Korok lives just barely. That Windrunner was charging up her Power Shot. That could have killed Korok if, assuming the phase shift wasn't there. But very well played from Korok. Knows the limits of his hero. With support coming in from IX Mike, even taking the first blood, he's going to get a little bit more of an early jump in the game, and he's already had a substantial jump in his early game. Serva, finally actually killing the creeps. I don't know why he wasted so much time trying to do that cutesy little attack from the high ground thing. I feel like if you're going to waste that much time doing it, you should at least know how to do it, which didn't look like he actually did. But now he's finally going to get a little bit of experience, taking a lot more damage. And still, why pick up the Magnus? Darkseer would be done with this already. He would be on the bot lane. TC would be pressured all the way back to his tier 1. And with the base damage he has, he'll still be able to last hit, yes. But the point is that it'll be a lot more difficult for him. So TC because he's getting an absolute free time. He's leading the way as far as gold per minute is concerned. Nexus not too far behind, has picked up his Ring of Health as well as the Claymore, so he's going to be going straight for his Battle Fury, and Liquid aren't really contesting Nexus's farm. They seem to be okay with making a trade of TC's farm on the Gyrocopter for Anti-Mage's farm. And, well, Gyrocopter can be a lot more active in the early stage, as I said before. They're probably looking to make some sort of timing push, and this is it. With 2 Centaurs on the Fluff, they're going to push down the tier 1 tower. Sharfik has moved down here from the mid lane, going to get a Shackle onto Fluff, power shot through as well. The Fluff is just going to pop off that heal. Dragon Slave, it looked like it missed. Is that a level 1 Slave? It's level 2 Slave. That definitely missed. It looked like it hit. It looked like the animation hit, but the damage definitely didn't come out. So Fluff barely lives with his life. Sharfik forced down to the mid lane, forced down from the mid lane, definitely not where he wants to be. Because really, 3D have this dead weight with the Magnus. They could pick up any jungler at all, and they would be doing a lot better. He's level 4, so it's not all that bad, but the hard lane hero is level 5 on the other end, and he's been roughing the lane, 13 for 1. And although Magnus is 10 for 0, keep in mind that a lot of those, or at least 4 of those, are those easy Satyr camps. So they only give, like, what, 10 gold apiece? But already we see 9 minutes in, TC with a Shadow Blade. So his right-click damage is going to be pretty intense, and if he gets the jump on someone, a right-click from the Shadow Blade as well as a Rocket Barrage, that will kill. Even if you're Windrunner with Windrun, the damage should be enough. In the meantime, the mid lane, Ix Mike picks up a kill on the Magnus. 2nd kill for him. I believe it was that Shadow Poison that did it, and Fluff is going to come around with a Hell Bear. Keep on forgetting the names of these new creeps. They should be able to take down this tower. Hellbear missing his clap, but only Solo is here to defend this tower, although Teleportation Sport coming in. It's going to be Sharfik. No Shackle Shot angle yet, and it looks like everyone on Liquid, once again, just going to put some damage on the tower. Not yet in deny range, but they're all safe and sound. So they're just going to move backwards and look for another opportunity. And really, all of this is in the name of giving TC more space. They're forcing 3D heroes all around the map, which is pretty good for Solo, actually. He's getting a lot more experience than he would be getting if he was just up on the top lane and stacking and pulling and everything. And Nexus is still getting a relatively free time. He's only 500 away from his Battle Fury, so it's going to be something like a 11-minute Battle Fury, and Bulba on the top lane going to get Fiend's Grip. All of his mana is going to disappear. His ultimate will do him in, but here comes TC. Call down onto Dread is going to annihilate the Bane Elemental's HP. At least a little bit. One more. Brain Sap, and TC still on the chase. He should be fine to pick this kill up. If he misses this kill, oh TC, that would be heartbreaking. One more hit. Eat through the tango. TC on the chase. Dread with the jukes. Jukes all day. Oh, the jukes too many. It looks like the Anti-Mage ultimate wasn't enough to kill off the Clockwork. Clockwork, it doesn't exactly have the most intelligence in the game. No offense to Clockwork, but that actually kept him safe. If he had more max mana, it would have been more than enough time for Nexus to burn all of it because of that 4 points in mana break. So he's going for a lot more aggressive build than we usually see out of anti-mages these days. But unfortunately, even with the Fiend's Grip draining mana, even with that level 4 mana break, it wasn't enough to completely drain out all the mana on the Clockwork and kill him at the same time. So Liquid get a free kill on this top lane with TC rotating up. No one on this bot lane, so Serva's definitely going to get a little bit of time. Probably get his level 6, but with only level 1 skewer, you got to ask the question, how useful is level 6 for Magnus? Because although Reverse Polarity is a fantastic spell, it is 100% reliant on positioning, and now Sharfik in a huge amount of trouble. Bulba uses Hookshot in. Yes, he did. Burned all of his mana. Sharfik in a little bit of trouble. TC's going to come for one last right click. Dread is in no man's land. What are you doing here? Dream Coil is going to drop, and it looks like that's going to be the end of the Bane Elemental. Puck with that kill. See the damage coming out from TC. Just one Shadow Blade hit, and then straight into the Rocket Barrage, and also Serva died on the bot lane. Solo to Fluff? Really, that happened. I guess the impetus damage does do a lot, and wow, Korok gonna go solo onto the Lina. 2200, that's the Blink Dagger for Korok. Yeah, he picks that one up. So Liquid with an 8-0 advantage so far. Nexus, though, still farming. And if you let an Anti-Mage farm for too long, that could be the end of your game. Oh no, Demonic Purge onto the Courier. If he gets this Battle Fury, he does get the Battle Fury. Oh, that was really close. That could have been horrible for 3D. You know, that still is horrible for 3D, but it could have been even worse. He did get the Void Stone. That did complete his Battle Fury. If he didn't get that, that would have been so bad. A 12-minute Battle Fury would have been a 15-minute Battle Fury, and That makes all the difference because 3D are massively behind, and you can't really have your anti-mage not farming for that much time, or not farming as fast for that much time. So now Nexus is going to accelerate his farm just a little bit, but Liquid with their rotations are doing a pretty good job to make sure that Nexus at least isn't getting as much support from his friendly heroes. They're forcing Solo down to the mid lane, to the bot lane. Dread has been there as well, mostly getting killed, so not the most efficient use of time there. But Nexus is not farming with as much safety as he would otherwise like to. Server does have that reverse polarity, but again, with only level 1 skewer, such a low range, we'll see how useful it is for him. Boba gonna close the distance for that. Magnus gonna skewer him back. Cogs are up though. Reverse polarity needs to be burned. TC is here as well. The call down plus the right clicks will be enough to kill the Magnus before he gets any spells off. Shackle on the fluff, not gonna latch. One more hit onto Nexus plus a blink forward from Korok, and the anti-mage drops very hard. 10-0 for Liquid. Liquid are just running a steamroller. There's the Dream Coil on Sharvik. Korok blinking forward once again. Sharvik's going to take that stun. Boba getting his hookshot blocked by TC, but looks like it doesn't matter because the Windrunner has dropped. Now Disruption onto Dread. He's in a cog trap. He's going to drop as well. 12 for 0. Nothing going the way. Nothing's going well for 3D right now. They have the Lina, who has Laguna Blade. Still hasn't used it. Reverse Polarity still up. Only level 6 on these heroes, and even if these shackles land, the power shots land, they need the anti-mage to get all the kills because Liquid at this point, everyone is doing just so well. As Lina dies by herself, alone on this bot lane. TC, Power Treads, Aquila, Yasha, Shadowblade. What is your net worth, good sir? That is not the correct button. 7,800, not bad at all for 14 minutes in the game. Serva completely spotted out by IX Mike. But instead, he wants to go for the big prize. He wants to go for Nexus. He's diving so very aggressively. Teleportation canceled even. Korok is here as well. Shackle onto IX Mike is going to latch. That saved him from wasting that disruption, but oh no, Dread is slowed down. Korok's going to blink forward. That's silence. It means no brain sap, no nightmare. And Liquid pick up another free kill. Oh man, this is looking bad. 15 minutes in, Liquid's already 14-0. That's a kill for almost a kill per minute on Liquid. All the heroes are gonna get mad stacked. The experience scrap, yeah, it's not looking good for 3D. 15 minutes in, you have that sort of disadvantage. I mean, they could try to get a miracle fight with reverse polarity, as well as a good mana void, but I don't know. This doesn't look like much like a Dota Cinema match to me. This just looks like a good old-fashioned Liquid stomp fest. She's Sharvik getting roughed up by 2 creeps, brought down to half HP, forcing out the bottle charges, and oh no, Hellbear, run! Oh, he's gonna die. Poor Hellbear. Oh, but a purge onto Sharvik, and the call down as well. The skewer in, but instantly is disrupted. Korok in the blink in. He's gonna pick off the Windrunner immediately. Nexus trying to do as much damage as he can to Fluff, but Fluff isn't taking enough damage, at least for 3D. And I agree, Angie, or whatever your name is. Dread is going to get a Phoenix Grip onto TC, but TC picks up a triple kill, 18 for 0. And this is like the worst feeling in the world if you're on the 3D clan. All the spectators, all the commentators. There is not much that 3D could do. They have an anti-mage who's pretty farmed, only has 1 death, but this difference in net worth is huge. Absolutely monstrous. And of course, the rest, the bottom 4, are occupied by the 3D clan as far as net worth is concerned. They have treads and a wand. That's pretty much it. Whereas the Liquid team has arcane boots, almost a full mech on IX Mike. Korok with a friggin' Dagon. Zap him. Dream Coil onto 2. Call down as well. Sharvik is going to pop from this one. Boom, walking right into the missile, but Serva gets a reverse polarity onto Fluff, but it's not going to be enough because the Dagon is there, and 3D simply do not have enough damage. Nexus not even in that fight. There's the GG call. 17 minutes in. Liquid getting everything to go their way this game. We'll see if this happens again. Oh, Korok, so close to death. Anti-Mage trying for the only kill on his team, but unfortunately it's not enough. So thanks for watching, guys. Game 1 between Liquid and the 3D clan. And, well, yeah, Liquid won, barely. It was a close one. But we'll see if 3D could pull something different next game. Because if they perform like this again, I feel like from the get-go they were kind of behind because of that Magnus doing absolutely nothing. pretty much AFK for the first 8 minutes of the game. But they have to pull something different out. They have to pull out something different. We saw their games versus Pain. They had a pretty decent showing. So hopefully we could see them performing a lot better in the next set, in the next game. So stick around, guys. The next game is going to come up right away. GG. Now, this is depressing. Just no kills at all. That sucks.